I have been asked a few times to do a video about bread, not necessarily gluten-free bread, but just bread in general and what to look for. If you are somebody who is living on the go, like most of us, or have children and they want sandwiches, basically which bread is some of the lesser of the evils, or what ingredients should you be looking for in bread that can indicate that it is a more healthful option than just the plain, really squishy white bread. So, due to those requests, I am going to take you with me to the grocery store and take a look at some of their bread options so that I can tell you what you should be looking for when you're looking at a bread near you. This is a bread that I have been buying for my kids because it is squishier than some of the other breads, like Ezekiel, and they really like the texture because it's not quite as hearty. So that being said, let's look at the ingredient list. It does start out with organic flours, which is great. You can see that the second ingredient is organic whole wheat flour. You're looking for anything that says whole because that means that they have not taken away the bran or the germ. This one does have wheat flour and whole wheat flour, barley flour, rye flour, spelt flour, millet flour, quinoa flour, potato flour, which is great. It's good for diversity. It is probably not as great as an Ezekiel bread that's sprouted because it is less of a whole grain product, but when it comes to breads, this is a pretty decent option if you're still looking for something that's soft and squishy. Now, this is another one that I just saw called Naked Organic Minimalist Wheat. They do also have a Naked Bare White, but I can tell you that one does not have whole grain anything in it. So not my first choice. This one does feel soft and squishy. And the first ingredient is organic whole wheat flour. Hey! But then they also have enriched unbleached wheat flour after that, which is the thing I prefer to avoid. So it's probably not my favorite. However, it does have organic whole wheat flour as the first ingredient, which means that is the majority of the flour they put in there. So it may be a good option to try. This one is Nature's Own 100% whole wheat. Let's see if that's really the case. It does say whole wheat flour is the first ingredient, and then water, yeast, and then brown sugar. That's a pretty decent amount of sugar. It's higher up on the list. And then you have wheat gluten, and then there's some cultured wheat flour. So I don't think it's really 100% whole grain or 100% whole wheat, seeing as they have other versions of wheat that are not the whole flour in there. But this one may be easier for people to find. It is a little more cost effective, but it's probably not my favorite of the three options. And then we have the Sprouts Hearty and Delicious Wheat Bread. Now I'm at Sprouts, which is a nationwide chain to my current knowledge, so you may be able to get this one. First ingredient's water, and then you have whole wheat flour, which is great. And then once again, we're getting into the enriched flour. So that means you don't have the bran involved, they've stripped it, but they are adding some of the nutrients back. These all have sugar of some sort in them, or honey. I wish they didn't, but that's pretty much a constant across the bread genre, unless you're looking at Ezekiel bread. I hope this information regarding bread and the ingredients helps you a little bit. Ultimately, the thing you're really looking for is that you see ingredients that are whole grains. No matter what the grain is, it is preferable always that it is whole grains, and preferably only whole grains if you can find those. Reduced sugar content is also optimal, but those are hard to find these days unless you're going to use something like the Ezekiel bread, which I'm not knocking, but a lot of people and kids simply don't like the texture. So these are alternatives. It's also preferable to try and avoid added oils. So some of those breads had oil added in, and you really want to avoid that whenever possible just because it adds in extra calories, and those calories come from fat. And fat is 9 calories per gram, which gets pretty high. If you can avoid that, that's great. You don't have to use any of those brands, but those were just examples of an ingredient list, and that way you could see what's fairly common to find in even the healthier options. I hope this helps. And if you have any more questions about this topic, please definitely comment below or join the school group and we'll have a conversation about it in there. Have a great day.